reading.
Okay. So I love hearing about the Future Voters Program, and it registers 16 to 18-year-olds. So what if there is a young person who doesn't know that they're undocumented and accidentally signs up or signs up and is not a U.S. citizen? What are ways that they're not going to be penalized for accidentally registering to vote when they get their license?
That's a good question. That is written into the law. Mm-hmm. So if a non-citizen were to register to vote and then later discovered that that they were not eligible to vote at that time, they could just sign a cancellation form or write a letter to the office, and their registration would just be canceled. There's no tracking of it. There's no penalty. There's no repercussions or anything like that. Their registration would just be canceled and it would just be gone. If that happens to, say, an adult, because that does happen sometimes, you can go into the office and sign a form that says just cancel my registration, and you don't need to give a reason. There's no reason required. You just say cancel my registration. And if you need further documentation, let's say you were attempting to obtain citizenship and then found out you were registered, and you needed information to provide to the officer that's doing the research. The county auditor's office can help you get that documentation. They have forms that they can give you. They have printouts. They have information that will make that so much easier for you. And it's not meant to be scary. It's not meant to, there's no punishment or anything like that. The office is just there to help. It does happen. So they know exactly what to give you that will help with that process. And I know that everybody in that office takes it very seriously. People have been at the counter and it can ruin somebody's life. And so they take it very seriously every time somebody comes in that type of situation. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, you know, they have the compassion to really care about that and help that person take care of it. So
that's good to know, so they can go directly into the office to make sure that is all cleared up. So related to that, what if someone comes into the office that maybe that English isn't their first language, Spanish or Somali? What are ways that our county office can still help folks that don't speak English?
Yes, because that also does happen. Luckily, in the office, they do have interpreters. They do have voter registration forms in different languages. Those forms can be obtained online. Some of them are in the office. And they do have different ways that they can help you get the information. The Secretary of State's office is another excellent opportunity for people to get information in different languages, whether they're in community groups or other county auditor offices or somebody just doing a drive. The Secretary of State's office really works community outreach to a degree where they want people to request information. They want people to have access, and they help the county auditors as well. So if the auditor's office doesn't have it, they know where to get it.
Good. Awesome. And then as far as the interpretation and resources available in other languages, is there like a language line or that the auditor's office can also pull in?
Yes, the auditor's office does use a language line because they are close to the courthouse. They do have access to that as well. And they do have interpreters that are on site. Sometimes you can also schedule that. So if it's a language that maybe is not as prominent in the community, or you speak a specific dialect of that language, you can request somebody to be on site at a specific time. You can make an appointment, and they will also have somebody be there.
Oh, great. Great. That's good to know. Awesome. Then I also wanted to talk about going back to, for folks that don't know if they're eligible to vote, what about for folks that have been formerly incarcerated, who don't know if they're eligible to vote or if they still have to wait? What are some resources and information that the auditor's office can support with regarding that?
The auditor's office does have information that they can give to people that have had a felony conviction. Maybe they've had their rights revoked for a while, and then now they're reinstated, or maybe they were incarcerated, they've just been released. A lot of those legal changes, there were a number of years where that was very confusing. People didn't know, is it okay, is it not okay? And nobody really wants to come to the counter and say that. It's a difficult conversation to have. I will say again that the auditor's staff is so compassionate, and they want you to have the information that you need. They can tell you, this is the law. But basically what it boils down to is, if you think you're eligible to vote, then register. And if you're not, the Secretary of State's office will send you a letter that says, hey, we noticed this. Are you sure? And, sometimes names get mixed up. Sometimes you really are eligible and that felony conviction wasn't you. I've taken a couple of those phone calls. They're not so funny in the beginning, but in the end, it's okay. And other times you realize, oh, okay, well, I still need to meet this requirement, or I still need to meet that requirement, and that's fine. And then and your registration is canceled. But again, it comes down to that's one of those difficult conversations that people aren't quite sure about. They're not sure if they should come to the office and ask. And I just say, just ask, come in. We want everybody who's eligible to participate to get a ballot. We want everybody who's eligible to vote to be part of the process. Get your voice heard. And any type of question that you have, you can call the office, you can come into the office, and the staff is there for you.
Okay. What are ways that you're thinking about using like social media or different ways to connect with our communities that might not have internet access or the ability to drive into the office? What are ways that you're thinking of creatively engaging folks?
Well, I think the office, Snohomish County in general, they do have, a Twitter handle, and they have Facebook pages and that kind of thing. And I know the auditor's office can do that as well. But I also think it is important to go out to the community. There are community meetings. There are different organizations that meet once a month or quarterly that you can go to and get information out to. I know that the auditor's office works with the League of Women Voters to get out information, but not everybody's a member of that organization. And so just being able to think about other organizations in different communities. I know that as a certified mediator, we worked a lot with Housing Hope. That's another agency. The Volunteers of America is another agency. And I think it goes back to asking that question of, hey, where can I meet new people to tell about these services? Where can I meet new groups to talk about what we offer and how we offer it? And just continue to put out that ask of, are you registered to vote? If not, are you eligible? Can we help you with that?
What are some great community partners, community-based organizations that you're connected to that you would be excited about to bringing into the work that you're going to be doing?
One organization that I work with my kids is Girl Scouts. So we do a lot of different Girl Scout events, and I know that in the last few years we've been talking a lot about leadership. We've been talking about civic engagement. We've been talking about community organizing, and I think it's important to be there for organizations like that, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. I have a daughter in 4-H. That's another community group that has a very strong foundation in Snohomish County. And I think that, showing them, hey, voting can affect your property taxes. Spring elections, that can affect your property taxes. If you're a big farm owner, you want to be lobbying for different things. That's also voting. Some of the other organizations I work with, the Volunteers of America, they're great. They have a very broad base. They offer a lot of services. I've worked with the court systems before. And I think they do a great job, but there's other ways that we could be providing information and getting that out, because the court process is a felony conviction, could be. And I think that there's just so many, and it can't just be the ones that are close to my heart right now, because as my girls grow, those will likely grow as well. But it needs to be community groups that demonstrate our community. And there's so many more than just the ones that I can think of.
Yeah. Thank you so much for inviting me out and for answering some of the questions.
Thank you so much for coming out today. Is there anything you would like to say to the community?
I would just say the importance of seeing what this role is, what they oversee, and making sure that they're looking at what has been done before, what's missing, and keeping our elected officials accountable. And then more than anything, for folks to vote in our elections and to make sure that we're showing up and we're letting them know what we need.
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you.